Downhill running destroys your knees, unless you do this. Hi guys, welcome back to the Fix My Running podcast. My name's Matthew Boyd. I'm a physical therapist, a running coach, but more importantly, I am a runner who's been through lots of injuries and managed to come out the other side. So if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're so inclined, share it with a fellow injured runner. Lots of runners with knee pain notice that it is particularly provoked by downhill running, and this is really common among trail runners who do a lot more up and down on the trails, and they often find that on the descent, on the way down, the knee pain is so bad that they're having to walk down sideways or even walk down backwards, and that's the really provocative part of the run. The reason that downhill running is so provocative for the knee is because it puts a great deal of stress on the quadriceps and the knee at the same time. What's happening as you run downhill, you hit the ground and then your quads are having to work eccentrically, which means that they are lengthening under load. Eccentric work for muscles is very challenging and very stressful. So what happens as you run downhill, if you're doing a lot of it, the quads muscles start to get tired. As your quads muscles fatigue, they can no longer take the stress. So they start to shunt the stress or the force into the knees. Essentially, as the quads get more tired, the knee starts to take the hit. So the knee in this sense is the victim, and it's a victim because the quads muscles lack the strength, the power, the capacity to protect the knees. And this is usually because runners, trail runners are no exception, are doing strength work that is not actually making them stronger. It is too light, and it is not progressive, and it is not challenging enough. So their muscles don't get stronger, so that when they are having to run downhill, the quads is getting tired really quickly just because it's weak. Most of the runners that I meet who come to us with knee pain that's often provoked by downhill are not doing strength training. And if they are doing any strength training, when I review with them what they've been doing, it is far too light. We're talking glute bridges, clamshells, maybe band exercises. These are exercises without significant load, and if I were to ask the runner to do as many reps as they can, they could probably do 20, 30, 40, even more repetitions. These are bodyweight, light bands, lightweight exercises that really provide only a endurance muscular strength challenge, and runners already do plenty of endurance when we're out running. So what we really need is to do real strength work that develops our maximum strength and power. So when we work with runners with knee pain, we want to get them doing strength exercises once or twice a week, and we want them to be really heavy. And we'll choose rep ranges like 4 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 5. This means that we're doing low amount of reps with a high amount of weight. And the way to know if you've calibrated the intensity correctly, which is, am I using enough weight? When you do the set, say you're doing lunges with 2 5-pound dumbbells in your hands, and you do a set of 8. On the last 3 repetitions, the movement should start to slow down. If on the last 3 reps, you're moving just as quickly as you did on the first 3 reps, it means that that weight is too light. So on the next set, you would take out 10-pound dumbbells in each hand and try that. Keep increasing the weight until when you get to those final 7th and 8th reps, you're moving really quite slowly because you're struggling. That'll get you starting in a range that's actually developing your strength. And then every week you want to be trying to add more weight. So we always tell our runners, use the maximum weight that you can do with good form for the prescribed reps and sets. So if after a couple of weeks, you're doing 4 sets of 8 on those lunges with 2 10-pound weights in each hand, and you notice those last 3 repetitions are starting to speed up, they're not as hard as they were, good. That means you're getting stronger. Now increase the weight, make it harder. Otherwise, your strength gains will start to plateau. In terms of the exercises to use, if we're going downhill and getting knee pain, the most important thing for us to do is to increase the strength of our quadriceps muscle. And some of my favorite exercises to do this will be reverse lunges, split squats, squats like back squats, or leg presses. All of these are squat patterns which heavily load the quadriceps muscle in a very functional way. So it's a similar movement pattern to what we actually do when we're running. If I had to pick one out of those, it would be the Bulgarian split squat, which is a lunge with your back foot resting up on a bench. If you choose a nice heavy weight, do 4 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 5, once or twice a week, doing these kind of exercises, trying to increase the weight each week or each month as you get stronger, that's going to make your quadriceps muscles stronger. That's going to mean that when you're out there running, every step is easier by comparison, because it's easier for a strong muscle to do a single step than a weak muscle. A strong muscle will not fatigue as quickly, meaning as you're out there running for a long time and the more downhill you accumulate, the muscle will not fatigue, meaning that it can continue to protect the knee so the stress isn't shunted into the knee. This is how you get to the root cause of the knee pain and get rid of the reason that it's happening, which is the weakness in the quads, rather than just trying to treat the knee pain itself. So you spend a couple of months getting your quads stronger. That's going to help protect your knees, which is wonderful. But we don't want to stop there. Part of the reason the quads gets tired is because other muscles in the kinetic chain are not doing their job. They're not pulling their weight. So if you imagine, as you're running up the hill, you have to propel yourself up, and you're going to use the calf muscle, the quads muscle, the hamstring muscle, and the glutes muscle. But primarily those posterior chain muscles, the calf, the hamstring, the glutes, the muscles on the back of your leg, they are going to be your primary driver as you go up the hill. So if you're going up the hill and one of those muscles is weak, or more than one of those muscles, or your posterior chain muscles are weak, the quads has to help more. So then what happens is by the time you get to the top of the hill, your quads is already pre-fatigued before you even start to go down. So even if you have strong quad muscles, but you have weak muscles in the back of your leg, then the quads muscles is still going to struggle because it's trying to do the job of other muscles in the chain. So this is where it's key to make sure that our posterior chain muscles are nice and strong and powerful so they can push us up the hill, and the quads muscles are nice and strong and powerful so they can bring us down. Now, if you've ever listened to me talk about running and strength training, you know that the calf is the most important muscle in the whole wide world. So we've got the best exercises for those are the single leg calf raises or the single leg bent leg calf raises. Seated calf raises, if you have access to that machine, are also great. And there's some other variations. Honestly, calf raises are generally quite a boring exercise, but if you want to run without pain, then you got to do them. Again, we want that rep range to be about 4 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 5. So we're pushing a really heavy weight for a relatively small amount of reps. That's going to make our calves nice and strong. When it comes to our hamstring and our glutes, we do work those muscles when we do the squat pattern exercises like squats, leg press, split squats, lunges that I talked about just a minute ago. However, we can use the quads in those exercises too. So it doesn't really isolate the posterior chain. So this is where your hinge exercises come in. Hinge exercises are anything that looks like a deadlift, a single leg deadlift. And these are going to primarily work the hamstrings and the glutes. Importantly, it's going to work the hamstring and the glutes in a movement where the quads muscle doesn't work very hard. This is going to allow you to increase the strength of your hamstring and your glutes. And when you make those stronger, they can help your calf push you up the hill. And this spares the quads, so the quads doesn't get tired on the way up, and it's there for you to bring you down on the other side. Now, if you're a runner with knee pain, you might be thinking, I can't do lunges and split squats and squats and leg presses. It hurts too much. So as always, you're going to use the pain traffic lights, green, orange, or red. If you try and do one of the exercises and it's painful, don't give up on it, just grade it. Is that pain green, orange, or red? And if it's in the green, continue at that level for a week or 2 weeks until it starts to become accustomed to it. It's less sensitive. You'll find that you'll be able to do more weight or more reps with less pain, at which point you would then increase the weight. And as a rough timeline, let's say you're a runner with knee pain going downhill. In the first month, we're really just looking to start to increase the strength, especially if you've not been doing any. So you should see that you're able to progress from body weight exercises into light weights, small dumbbells. Then in month 2, we're not so limited by the pain anymore. The pain is starting to improve, but it's not gone. We still can't run downhill without pain. And what we're going to do at that point is continue to increase the weight on our strength training and really start to get into some real strength and power development. Then by the 3rd month, we'll find that as our strength has got better, we can tolerate more downhill running. And this is where the volume of our running can increase again. So if you have knee pain running downhill and you're using strength training to address it, think that as a timeline, those 3 months to really start to move the needle. So you have some realistic expectations, because a lot of the time runners with knee pain will go to physio, they'll do some of the exercises that they're given, they'll be lightweight, they're not progressive, they're not really moving the needle on their strength, and they'll only do them for 2 or 3 weeks before they conclude that they're not helping. And they aren't helping, but they also weren't given enough time. So we need to make sure that we give the body 2-3 months of working at its strength to actually become stronger. So to sum up, if you're a runner with knee pain that's worse going downhill and you want to invest in protecting your knees, you want to get rid of the knee pain or prevent it if you don't have it, then the key is to make your muscles strong enough to protect your knees. Make your quadriceps strong enough so that they can offload the knee on the downhill and protect it. Make your calves, glutes, and hamstrings strong enough so that they can propel you up the hill so that your quads doesn't get tired. And if you're not sure where to start, I'll put a link in the description. Click that and you'll get a strength PDF that goes through some of these exercises with links to the videos and a good place to start. As always, if you're a runner with pain and you would like some help, click the other link in the description to book a free evaluation call and we'll have a chat about it and see if we can help.